guys, so today I have a process video for you. These are 4 pictures that I took of my son and his friends. On his 17th birthday, we went to his favorite restaurant, which is like an hour away. It's a buffet, and we don't have any buffets in our town because we live kind of in a small town. So this place was called Old Country Buffet, and he wants to go there every year on his birthday. So we took 2 of his friends, and then a bunch of our family and friends came. And these were the only 4 pictures I was able to get. And he's at that age where he doesn't like having his photo taken. So I've got these 4 little pictures. And I also have this stamp set that's called No Picture by Technique Tuesday. And it's got these funny little sayings about not being able to get pictures taken. So I might be able to use that on this layout. I'm using the Cartabella It's a Celebration collection. I haven't used it before, so it's still brand new. And then I've just got a couple things pulled out, like some washi and some chipboard arrows and some die cuts, stuff like that. It's all from my stash. So I'm gonna put you on fast forward and get started. I'm trying to use part of a sketch that I found online on Pinterest, and I'll try to show it to you. It is this one. And I don't want to use the whole sketch, but I want to use the part of it where that banner is. I really love how that banner is right there. So I'm going to try to use parts of it. Every time I try to use a sketch, I end up like veering off of it, not doing so well, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to put you on fast forward and hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, so I got my new microphone. So let me know how this sounds, if it sounds better than what it used to sound like. So I'm going through the papers right now, deciding which ones I'm going to use for my background and which one I want to use for the banner. And the playback on this, I'm using Corel Video Studio Pro, and the playback on this is like really jumpy, so it's a little hard to edit or do a voiceover to, because I can't really tell what you're seeing, like if you're seeing the same thing I am. But I've chosen this background paper that says, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." Almost makes me want to sing it, but I'll spare you. And then I chose that navy blue paper with the little starbursts or whatever. That's going to be my secondary background. And then I chose, I think, the red diagonal stripe, yes, to be for my banner. So I just folded it in half and then cut it so that it would look like a banner. And I'm going around the edges of everything with Faded Jeans Distress ink, just to kind of, everything's kind of busy, so I want each element to kind of pop off the page on its own, so that's why I'm distressing all the edges with the Distress ink. So I've got these 4 little photos, and I printed them on my Canon, what is the name of my printer? It's that little printer. Canon Selfie. So I printed them really small so that I could fit them all on this layout. And they're not great quality pictures anyway because they're from my iPhone. And if I try to print them bigger than this, then they come out kind of pixelated. So that's the size that I chose. So I'm going to go ahead and mat them on this off-white pattern paper from the collection, just to make them stand out a little bit against that red and white diagonal stripe paper. Every time I watch myself on camera cutting paper, I don't know why, but I always keep thinking, she's going to cut her finger, she's going to cut her finger. I know that's really dorky, but that's what happens when I watch it back. So anyway, I'm going around the edges of the pictures now with the Distress ink, and I'm going to start adhering them down. I figured out where I wanted to put them all. And this restaurant that we go to, it's about an hour and 15 minutes away. Oh, you get to see my messy curly hair. And we go there every year on his birthday. It's called Old Country Buffet. And it's his favorite place to go. So from this cut apart sheet, I'm cutting out the happy birthday to you with the birthday cake on it. And I'm going to use that as an element over on the left-hand side, like the left-hand side of that banner. And I'm going to use this green. I'm going to use this green polka dot paper as like another background, just for that left, or a layer, as another layer basically. And I'm making a little banner, but I made it too big, and I think I'm going to cut it down in a little bit. It's been a long time since I did this because I haven't had a microphone, so I haven't been able to do any voiceovers. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm following a sketch off of Pinterest, and I'm using washi tape, and I'm trying really hard lately to use things that I don't normally use in my layouts, and one of those is washi tape. So I used 3 different washi tapes in this layout. I was really proud of myself. I'm using the navy blue, polka dot, the plain red, and plain yellow. And I really like how this layout turned out. It took me a long time to get it done. It's a pretty long video for me. It's like 16.5 minutes long, and that's sped up. Excuse me. But I like how it turned out in the end, and it was really fun to make. It takes longer when I follow a sketch than if I'm just doing my own thing. So now I'm going to start adhering all the layers down and just figuring out the placement of those. I wanted to use like really bold colors because he is 17 and he's a boy, you know. And I'm popping up the banner on foam adhesive. I'm waiting for my big roll of foam tape to come in. I ordered one of those. Actually, I ordered a couple of those, one for me and one for one of my friends. And I'm waiting for that to come in. Hopefully it'll be here Monday. And then I won't have to peel the backing off all those little tiny dots. So now I thought it needed something. This banner just needed something. So I wanted some twine to go around it. And I don't have any dark navy blue twine. So I chose this Lawn Fawn natural hemp cord, I think it is. And I'm just going to wrap it around like 2 or 3 times and then tie it in a knot and put a button on it. And I had the hardest time getting that darn button on the string, or getting the string through the button, because it's too thick to go through the buttonholes. I think I may have even cut out a little bit of that process because I didn't want you to have to sit there watching me try to thread a button. So I chose a green button out of my button jar. I have a button jar like that for every color. And one of my goals is to start using some of those buttons. So I'm tying it in a knot and cutting the edge, hoping it'll go through. Yeah, I did cut some of this out. See my messy curly hair? It always looks messy no matter what I do because it's just naturally curly. Nothing I can do but put it back. So I finally got the thread through the button. I did cut that out so you wouldn't have to watch it. And I am hot gluing it down so that it won't move. And then I'm tying a bow with the string. And then I'm going to hot glue that little knot down so that it won't come undone. I've been using my hot glue gun a lot lately too. It's really nice for like chipboard pieces and felt pieces and things like that, you know. I don't like glossy accents. I'm probably one of the very few crafters who doesn't care for it, but I don't like having to wait for it to dry, and I don't like how it looks shiny when it leaks out when you put too much on it, which of course I do. Okay, so I have this chipboard arrow that I've had for years and years and years, and like I said, I'm trying to use up stuff that I don't normally use. So I dipped it in the Memento Luxe ink, and it worked really well. So I'm going to dry that with my heat tool, and then I'm going to go around the edges, the outside edges of the arrow, with my Faded Jeans Distress ink, just so the edges look finished and not, you know, white. And I got blue all over my fingers. And now I'm wiping them off. Thank God for baby wipes. I need to buy those in bulk at Costco or something because I go through so many of those. So I'm using my hot glue gun to glue down the arrow. And then I start to use this banner and realize it's way too big. So I start trying to cut it down. And then I cut it down again. And I end up not even using it like that. I end up putting it on something else. But so I've got my wood veneers out, and I got a little wood veneer camera, and I'm going through my little goodie box. That's what I call that pink box right there. It just has all kinds of little goodies that are left over from packages of embellishments and kits and, you know, whatever. So I have these two little circles, 1 and 7, and that's from a piece of paper in the collection. And I just took a circle punch and punched those out. And I'm using those on top of the arrow to show that he's 17. And right now I'm trying to use a little wood veneer die cut that I made out of that wood veneer paper. But when I put the ink on it, it messed it up because it was just so dark you couldn't see the stamped sentiment on it. So I ended up putting it back, and I'm going to try to fix it and reuse it. So I found this Friends little die cut and a circle one that says love this, and I'm going to put that on some foam adhesive dots and point that down at the picture of him and his friends. So I've got a whole bunch of little die cuts that I'm using on this layout, and I spend quite some time going through all my die cuts in different colors. I store them by color in these little containers, which I'll show you in a minute. I used to keep like partial packs in that goodie box, but I ended up going through those and putting them in these. See this plastic container that has all the yellow in it? Each color, I don't know how I'm saying this wrong. Each one of those things is for a different colored die cut. So any die cuts that are mainly blue, they go in the blue one, and then yellow goes in yellow, that kind of thing. So that's how I store my die cuts and keep them separated by color. And it's not perfect because some are multicolored, but I just go by what what I would use. Like if something is pink and blue, if there's more pink on it than blue, I'll put it in the pink one. Or if the blue is really bright and I would use it on something where I'm looking for blue, then I'll put it in blue. It's kind of just a choice. So I'm going through all these die cuts, trying to figure out which ones I want to use and where I want to put them. And I found this one that says Friends, and I'm just cutting it down and going around the edge. And I'm going to try to put that up there by the picture of him and his friends. And this was a really fun birthday. We didn't have a party per se, but we just had family and friends go out to dinner. And then afterwards, my friend Alicia and her husband Kevin took us to a skate park in Tacoma, where this restaurant is, and that's a bigger town that's like an hour from us. And they have this awesome skate park with all these like ramps and the loop-de-loopy things and whatever. I don't know what you call them. My son knows, but we took him skating, and he skated until it was dark. And while we were there, right now I'm cutting out a die cut that says yummy, and I'm just cutting out the part that doesn't match, and I'm going to put that up next to where he's the picture of him eating. So back to the skate park. So while we were there, this kid was there, and he wasn't wearing a helmet, and he was on a bicycle, and he was jumping these cement hill thingies in the skate park, and he fell and was bleeding, and he ended up busting his head open and hurting his nose or something and his arm, and he was hurt pretty bad. And luckily Alicia used to be a nurse. That's my friend who was with us, and she went over and checked on him and stuff, and he was kind of in shock for a little while. But then he just kind of shook it off and kept hanging out with his friends. I think he might have had like a slight concussion or something. He probably needed to go to the emergency room, but kids, they don't listen. Not teenage kids anyway. So then I tried to point out to my son, see, that's why you need a helmet. Even if it's not cool looking, you need a helmet. He's like, I'm not wearing a helmet. That won't happen to me. It'll never happen to him because he's a skater. And the kid that fell was on a bicycle. So he said, tried to convince me that bikes are more dangerous than skateboards, which I find hard to believe, but whatever. So I have a hard time watching him skate. It's just really hard for me because it scares the crap out of me. So if he won't wear a helmet, I try not to watch him too often. So I've pretty much got a bunch of die cuts down there now. I put one down there by the 17 that says today and has an arrow. So like today he's 17, that sort of thing. And I'm just making like last minute touches, little bits and pieces here and there, and then I think I'm basically done with this. There's one part that I didn't film, and that's just adding the date stamp to the bottom. And this was the day that the pictures were taken, was April 18th. Oh, so it wasn't that long ago. I just have done a lot of layout since then. Okay, so that's that yummy. So I'm popping that up on foam dots. Half of it anyway. Half of it's going down on the banner flat, and then the other half is on pop dots so that it will lay even. And now I'm somewhere in between all this talking. I colored that little wood veneer camera blue with the Memento Luxe ink, and I put that down and put a yellow gem in the middle of it for like the flash. And I think I'm pretty much done with the layout. So thanks for watching, guys, and for putting up with me telling you stories. I will be back soon with another one. I've got a bunch of process videos to share with you, and I'll be uploading them in the next couple days. So have a great day. Bye.